failure is good, thanks a ton, tell me something I didn't hear at my high school graduation. To which I say, okay, I will. You know the real danger for MIT graduates? It's not getting okay, thanks. The real danger is all that smoke that's been blown up your graduation gowns about how freaking smart you are. Well, you are that smart. But don't believe the hype that's thrown at you. You don't have all the answers, and you shouldn't. It is such an honor to be part of your day. It's an honor to be here with you, with your friends, your professors, and your parents. But let's be honest, this is an honor I didn't really earn. I'm just going to put that out there. I mean, I've seen the list of previous commencement speakers, Nobel Prize winners, the UN Secretary General, President of the World Bank, President of the United States. And who did you get? Well, look, I don't even have a college degree. As you might have heard, I went to Harvard. I just didn't graduate from Harvard. I got pretty close, but I started to get movie roles, and I didn't finish all my courses. But I put on a cap and gown, and I walked with my class. My mom and dad and brother were there and everything. I just never got an actual degree. You could say I kind of fake graduated. So you can imagine how excited I was when President Reif called to invite me to speak at the MIT commencement. Now, you see some tough things out there, but you also see life-changing joy, and it all changes you. There was a refugee crisis back in '09 that I read about in this amazing article in the New York Times. People were streaming across the border of Zimbabwe to a little town in northern South Africa called Messina. Well, I was working in South Africa at the time, so I went up to Messina to see for myself what was going on. I spent a day speaking with women who had made this perilous journey across the Limpopo River, dodging bandits on one side, crocodiles in the river, bandits on the other. Every woman that I spoke to that day had been raped. Every single one. On one side of the river or both. And at the end of my time there, I met a woman who was so positive, she was so joyful. She had just been given her papers, so she'd been granted political asylum in South Africa. And in the midst of this joyful conversation, I mustered up my courage and I said, "Ma'am, do you mind my asking, were you assaulted on your journey to South Africa?" And she replied, still smiling, "Oh yes, I was raped, but I have my papers now, and those bastards didn't get my dignity." Human beings will take your breath away. They will teach you so much, but you have to engage. I only had that experience because I went there myself. It was difficult in many ways, but of course that's the point. There is a lot of trouble out there, MIT, but there's a lot of beauty too, and I hope you see both. But again, the point is not to become some kind of well-rounded, high-minded voyeur. The point is to eliminate your blind spots, the things that keep us from grasping the bigger picture. And look, even though I grew up in this neighborhood, in this incredible multicultural neighborhood that was a little rough at that time, I find myself here before you as a middle-aged American white male movie star. I don't have a clue where my blind spots begin and end. But looking at the world as it is and engaging with it is the first step towards identifying our blind spots. And that's when we can really start to understand ourselves better and begin to solve some problems. And with that as your goal, there's a few more things I hope you'll keep in mind. First, you're going to fail sometimes, and that's a good thing. For all the amazing successes I've been lucky to share in, few things have shaped me more than the auditions that Ben and I used to go on as young actors, where we'd get on a bus, we'd show up in New York, we'd wait our turn, we'd cry our hearts out for a scene, and then be told, "Okay, thanks," meaning game over. We used to call it being okay, thanks. And those experiences became our armor. All right, now you're thinking, great, thanks, Matt. Failure is good, thanks a ton. Tell me something I didn't hear at my high school graduation. To which I say, okay, I will. You know the real danger for MIT graduates? It's not getting okay, thanks. The real danger is all that smoke that's been blown up your graduation gowns about how freaking smart you are. Well, you are that smart. But don't believe the hype that's thrown at you. You don't have all the answers, and you shouldn't, and that's fine. You're going to have your share of bad ideas. But as the great philosopher Benjamin Affleck once said, "Judge me by how good my good ideas are, not how bad my bad ideas are. You've got to suit up in your armor. You've got to get ready to sound like a total fool. Not having an answer isn't embarrassing. It's an opportunity. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I know so much less the second time I'm fake graduating than the first time. The second thing I want to leave you with is you got to keep listening. The world wants to hear your ideas, good and bad, but today is not the day you switch from receive to transmit. Once you do that, your education is over, and your education should never be over. Even outside of your work, there are always ways to keep challenging yourself. Listen to online lectures. I just retook a philosophy course that I took at Harvard when I was 19. You go to MIT OpenCourseWare, go to waitbutwhy.com, go to TED.com. I'm told there's even a Trump University. I have no earthly idea what they teach there. But whatever you do, just keep listening, even to people you don't agree with at all. I love what President Obama said at Howard University's commencement last month. He said, democracy requires compromise even when you are 100% right. I heard that and thought, here is a man who has been happily married for a long time. Not that the First Lady has ever been wrong about anything. Just like my wife, never wrong. Not even when she decided last month that in a family with 4 kids, what was missing in our lives was a 3rd rescue dog. That was an outstanding decision, honey, and I love you. The third and last thought I want to leave you with is that not every problem has a high-tech solution. Now, if anybody has the right to think we can pretty much tech support the world's problems into submission, it's you. Think of the innovations that got their start at MIT or by MIT alums. The World Wide Web, nuclear fission, condensed soup. That's true. You should be very proud of that. But the truth is, science alone can't solve this problem. We need to be just as innovative in public policy, just as innovative in our financial models. So let me ask you this in closing. What are you going to be a part of? What is the problem that you will try to solve? Whatever your answer, it is not going to be easy. Sometimes your work will hit a dead end. Sometimes your work will be measured in half steps. But for all of you here, your work starts today. And seriously, how lucky are you? I mean, what are the odds that you're the ones who are here today? In the Earth's 4.5 billion year run, with 100 billion people who have lived and died, and the 7 billion of us here now, here you are. Yes, here you are. Alive at a time of potential extinction-level events, a time when fewer and fewer people can cause more and more damage, a time when science and technology may not hold all the answers, but are indispensable to any solution. What are the odds that you get to be you right now, the MIT class of 2016, with so much on the line? There are potentially trillions of human beings who will someday exist or not, whose fate in large part depends on the choices you make, on your ideas, on your grit and persistence and willingness to engage. If this were a movie I was trying to pitch, I'd be laughed out of every office in Hollywood. Joseph Campbell himself would tell me to throttle down and lower the stakes, but I can't, because this is a fact. This is not fiction. This improbable thing is actually happening. There is more at stake today than in any story ever told. And how lucky you are that you're here and you're you. And how lucky we are that you're here and you're you. So I hope you'll turn toward the problem of your choosing. I hope you'll turn toward the problem of your choosing. I hope you'll drop everything, and I hope you'll solve it. This is your life, class of 2016. This is your moment, and it is all down to you. Ready, player one, your game begins now. Thank you. Congratulations.